The Taurus lesson that finally pays you back. There is a lesson that has been following you for years, maybe even decades, and today it is finally ready to pay you back in full. If you are a Taurus or you have strong Taurus energy in your chart, this message is arriving at the exact moment you need it most. You have been patient. You have been steady. You have held on through seasons that tested every ounce of your strength, and you did it quietly without asking for applause. But lately, something inside you has been shifting. You feel it in the mornings when you wake up and sense that the old way of doing things no longer fits. You feel it in the evenings when you wonder if all that effort, all that endurance was truly worth it. I want you to hear me clearly right now. It was worth it, every single moment of it. And what is about to unfold in your life will prove that in ways you cannot yet imagine. But there is a catch. There is always a catch with Taurus energy. You have to be willing to receive what is coming. You have to soften the grip just enough to let the reward land. Stay with me through every single tip in this video, because each one builds on the last. And by the end, you will understand exactly why this season of your life is unlike anything you have experienced before. Tip 1. The weight you have been carrying is not yours to keep forever. Taurus, you have a remarkable ability to carry heavy things. Responsibilities, emotional burdens, other people's expectations, financial pressures. You carry them all with a kind of quiet dignity that most people never even notice. You do not complain. You do not make dramatic declarations about how hard your life is. You simply pick up what needs to be picked up, and you keep moving forward. But here is what nobody tells you about being the strong one. Just because you can carry something does not mean you are supposed to carry it forever. There is a difference between strength and stubbornness, and sometimes, Taurus, you blur that line without even realizing it. You hold on to weight that was only meant to be temporary. You grip onto responsibilities that other people should have taken back a long time ago. And you do this because somewhere deep inside, you believe that letting go means you are weak. That releasing the burden means you are giving up. But that is not the truth. The truth is that letting go of what no longer serves you is one of the bravest things you will ever do. Think about it this way. A farmer does not carry the harvest on their back all year long. They plant, they tend, they gather, and then they rest. The cycle demands rest. It demands release. Without it, the soil becomes barren and nothing new can grow. Your energy works the same way. You have been in a long season of planting and tending, and now the universe is asking you to put some of that weight down so that fresh growth can begin. This does not mean you abandon your responsibilities. It does not mean you walk away from the people who depend on you. It means you look honestly at what you are carrying and ask yourself, is this mine to hold? Is this still necessary? Or am I gripping this out of habit, out of fear, out of a belief that I have to do everything myself? The lesson that is paying you back right now starts with this realization. You have earned the right to be lighter. You have earned the right to breathe. And the moment you give yourself permission to release what has grown too heavy, you create space for something beautiful to enter. The universe does not reward endless struggle. It rewards wisdom. It rewards the person who knows when to hold on and when to open their hands. You are entering a season where opening your hands is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you finally trust yourself enough to receive what has been waiting for you all along. And I want you to think about what that looks like in practical terms. Maybe there is a project that has been draining you for months. Something you started with enthusiasm, but that now feels like an obligation you dread. Maybe there is a relationship dynamic where you are always the one solving the problems, always the one making the calls, always the one showing up first and leaving last. Maybe there is a financial burden that you have been shouldering alone when the truth is that asking for help would not diminish your dignity, it would restore it. Start by naming one thing. Just one weight that you know in the deepest part of your gut is no longer yours to carry. Name it. Acknowledge it, and then give yourself permission to set it down. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because every day you continue to carry what the universe has already released you from, you delay the arrival of what is meant to come next. And what is meant to come next, Taurus, is more beautiful than you can imagine right now. Let that sink in. Let it settle into your bones. Because every tip that follows builds on this foundation. Tip 2. Your patience has been earning interest, and the balance is about to be revealed. If there is one quality that defines Taurus more than any other, it is patience. You wait, you endure, you stay the course when everyone else has already walked away. And while the world celebrates speed and instant results, you have been quietly building something that cannot be rushed. But here is what most people do not understand about patience. It is not passive. It is not just sitting around hoping that things will get better. True patience, the kind that Taurus practices, is an active force. It is the decision to keep investing your energy, your time, your love, your effort into something that has not yet shown you its full reward. And just like a savings account that earns interest over time, every patient day you have lived through has been adding to your balance. Every morning you woke up and chose to keep going, even when you could not see the finish line. That was a deposit. Every moment you stayed calm when chaos was swirling around you. That was a deposit. Every time you trusted the process even when doubt was whispering in your ear. That was a deposit. And now, Taurus, the balance is about to be revealed. Not all at once, because that is not how your energy works. You do not win the lottery. You build a legacy. But what is coming will feel like a deep exhale. A moment where you look at your life and realize that nothing was wasted. None of it. The hard years were not punishment. They were preparation. The slow progress was not failure. It was a foundation being laid brick by brick. And foundations built slowly are the ones that never crumble. I know you have had moments where you questioned everything. Moments where you looked at other people racing ahead and wondered if you were doing something wrong. You were not doing anything wrong. You were doing the hardest thing of all. You were building something real. And real things take time. What I want you to understand is that this season is not about starting over. You are not back at the beginning. You are at the point in the journey where the path finally opens up and you can see the horizon clearly for the first time. The work you did in the dark is about to be seen in the light. The seeds you planted when nobody was watching are about to break through the surface. And when they do, you will understand why it had to take this long. Because what is coming could not have grown in shallow soil. It needed depth. It needed time. It needed you. Exactly as patient and steady as you are. And here is the part that most people miss about the Taurus journey. The interest you have been earning is not just financial, not just material. It is emotional. It is spiritual. It is relational. Every time you chose patience over panic, you were strengthening a muscle inside yourself that most people never develop. You were becoming the kind of person who can hold steady in a storm, who can look chaos in the eye and say, "I will not be moved." That quality is priceless. And the world is about to need exactly what you have built inside yourself. The people around you are going to look to you for guidance, for stability, for the kind of grounded wisdom that only comes from years of patient endurance. And you will be ready. You have always been ready. You just did not know it yet because the account had not been open for you to see. But the statement is coming. And when you read it, you will weep. Not from sadness, but from the overwhelming relief of knowing that every single day mattered. Do not let anyone rush you now. You are right on time. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. The relationship that confuses you is actually teaching you your worth. There is a relationship in your life right now that has been pulling at your heart in ways you cannot quite explain. Maybe it is a romantic connection that keeps shifting between closeness and distance. Maybe it is a friendship that feels unbalanced, where you give more than you receive. Maybe it is a family bond that carries old wounds neither of you knows how to heal. Whatever it is, this relationship has been on your mind more than you would like to admit. And the confusion it creates has been draining your energy in ways you might not even recognize. But here is the lesson that is hidden inside this confusion. This relationship is not here to hurt you. It is here to teach you something essential about your own worth. Taurus, you are incredibly loyal. When you love someone, you love them with your whole being. You show up, you stay, you give, and there is deep beauty in that kind of devotion. But sometimes your loyalty becomes so strong that it blinds you to a painful truth. Not everyone who receives your love knows how to value it. Not everyone who benefits from your steadiness understands what it costs you. And when you keep giving to someone who does not meet you halfway, you are not being loyal. You are being unfair to yourself. The relationship that confuses you right now is holding up a mirror. It is showing you where your boundaries have become too soft, where your generosity has crossed over into self-neglect, where your desire to keep the peace has silenced your own needs. And the lesson is not to cut people off or build walls around your heart. The lesson is much simpler and much harder than that. The lesson is to love yourself with the same devotion you give to others. When you start doing that, something remarkable happens. The relationships that are meant for you begin to deepen. The connections that are built on mutual respect and genuine care become stronger. And the relationships that were only sustained by your one-sided effort, they either transform or they naturally fall away. Neither outcome is a loss. Both are a liberation. You deserve to be chosen the way you choose others. You deserve to be prioritized the way you prioritize the people you love. And this season is teaching you that demanding your worth is not selfish. It is sacred. Pay attention to who shows up for you without being asked. Pay attention to who makes space for your feelings the way you make space for theirs. Those are your people. Those are the connections worth your precious energy. And the rest? You can release with love, knowing that letting go does not erase what was. It simply makes room for what is meant to be. Here is something else I want you to consider. The confusion you feel about this relationship is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is actually a sign that you are growing. Confusion happens when the old version of you, the one who would accept anything just to keep the peace, is colliding with the new version, the one who knows they deserve more. That collision feels messy. It feels uncomfortable. Feels like you are being torn in two directions at once. But that tension is the growing edge of your evolution. You are becoming someone who loves deeply and wisely at the same time. Someone who can give generously without giving themselves away. That is the balance you are learning to strike, and it will change every relationship you have from this point forward. Not just this one, all of them. The lesson ripples outward like a stone dropped into still water, touching everything it reaches. Tip 4. Your body has been sending you messages, and it is time to finally listen. Taurus is ruled by the senses. You feel things deeply, not just emotionally but physically. Your body is a finely tuned instrument, and it has been trying to tell you something for a while now. Maybe it shows up as tension in your shoulders that never quite goes away. Maybe it is a heaviness in your chest when you think about certain situations. Maybe it is fatigue that sleep alone cannot fix, or a restlessness that makes it hard to settle down even though all you want is peace. Your body is not betraying you. It is communicating with you. And the lesson here is one that Taurus often resists. You cannot think your way out of everything. Some answers do not live in your mind. They live in your muscles, in your breath, in the way your stomach tightens when something is not right, or the way your heart opens when you are exactly where you belong. For too long, you have been powering through physical signals. You have told yourself that you will rest later, that you will slow down when things calm down, that your body can wait because there are more important things to handle. But your body is not separate from those important things. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience every single blessing, every joy, every moment of connection that makes life worth living. If the vehicle breaks down, none of those things can reach you. This is the season to stop treating your physical well-being as an afterthought. Start paying attention to what your body needs, not what your mind thinks it should need, but what it is actually asking for. Maybe it is asking for slower mornings. Maybe it is asking for better nourishment, not just food, but the kind of nourishment that feeds your soul. Time in nature, gentle movement, warm baths, music that makes your heart feel full. Maybe it is asking you to see a healer, to address that thing you have been ignoring because you were afraid of what the answer might be. Whatever it is, listen. Taurus energy thrives when the body is honored. When you are physically grounded, everything else in your life flows more smoothly. Your decisions become clearer. Your emotions become more balanced. Your creativity awakens. Your patience deepens into something that feels less like endurance and more like wisdom. The body is not an obstacle to your spiritual growth. It is the doorway. And right now, that doorway is asking you to walk through it with more care, more attention, and more love than you have been giving it. This is not vanity. This is not indulgence. This is survival at the deepest level. You are building a life that is meant to last, and it needs to be built on a body that is cared for, respected, and cherished. Start there. Start with the next breath you take. Make it deeper. Make it slower. Make it intentional. And notice how even that small act of attention changes the way you feel. There is a reason why the most grounded, most centered, most peaceful version of you always shows up when your body feels good. It is because the body is not just a container for your spirit. It is the translator. It takes the whispers of your soul and turns them into feelings you can understand, into sensations you can act upon, into signals that guide you toward what is right and away from what is not. When you ignore those signals, you are essentially turning off your guidance system. And without guidance, even the strongest Taurus can wander off course. So honor the body. Treat it as the sacred instrument it is. Feed it well. Move it gently. Let it rest when it asks for rest. And most importantly, listen to it when it speaks. Because what it is telling you right now could be the most important message you receive all year. That is the beginning of a revolution that starts from the inside out. Tip 5. The financial shift you have been waiting for requires one specific change in your thinking. Money is a topic that Taurus understands intuitively. You know how to work for it. You know how to save it. You know how to build material stability through effort and discipline. But there is a difference between earning money and receiving abundance, and that difference lives in your mindset. You have been working hard, perhaps harder than anyone around you realizes. And yet, there may be a feeling that the financial reward has not matched the level of effort you have put in. You look at what you have built and you feel a quiet frustration because you know you deserve more. You know the value of what you bring to the table. And you are right. You do deserve more. But here is the shift that changes everything. Abundance does not flow toward effort alone. It flows toward alignment. It flows toward the person who believes they are worthy of receiving, not just earning. There is a subtle but powerful difference. When you only believe in earning, you create a dynamic where every dollar must be wrestled from the universe through sweat and sacrifice. When you believe in receiving, you open a channel that allows abundance to come to you through unexpected doors, through opportunities you did not force, through generosity you did not have to beg for. This does not mean you stop working. Taurus will always work because it is in your nature to build. But it means you stop working from a place of fear and start working from a place of trust. It means you stop telling yourself that money is hard to come by and start affirming that you are a magnet for the resources you need. It means you stop punishing yourself with scarcity thinking and start honoring yourself with abundance thinking. The financial shift that is coming for you in this season is directly connected to this change. The universe has been watching your effort, and it has been taking notes. But it has also been waiting for you to soften the belief that struggle is the only path to prosperity. When you release that belief even a little, you create cracks in the wall that has been holding abundance back. And through those cracks, light begins to pour in. Watch for signs in the coming weeks. An unexpected offer. A door that opens without you having to push it. A resource that appears just when you need it most. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that the shift is already underway. Your job is not to force it. Your job is to stay open, stay grateful, and trust that you have planted enough seeds to feed you for a very long time. And let me take this a step further because this is important for you to truly absorb. The way you think about money is often a reflection of the way you think about yourself. If deep down you believe that you have to struggle and sacrifice for every good thing in life, then money becomes yet another arena where you exhaust yourself proving your worth. But if you can begin to internalize the truth that you are inherently worthy, that your value does not depend on how hard you work but on who you are, then money begins to behave differently in your life. It stops being something you chase and starts being something that flows toward you naturally. This is not magical thinking. This is energy. And as a Taurus, you understand energy better than most people. You know that a garden that is tended with love produces more than a garden that is tended with resentment. Apply that same principle to your relationship with abundance. Tend it with love. Tend it with trust. And watch what grows. Tip 6. The comfort zone you love is the same thing that has been limiting you. Let us talk about something that every Taurus knows but rarely admits. You love your comfort zone. You love routine. You love knowing what to expect. You love the feeling of coming home to a space that is familiar, safe, and exactly the way you like it. And there is nothing wrong with that. Comfort is not the enemy. Stability is not a flaw. These are gifts of your sign, and they serve you well in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. But here is the hard truth that this season is bringing to your doorstep. The same comfort zone that protects you is also the thing that has been limiting you. Not because comfort is bad, but because you have confused comfort with safety, and they are not the same thing. True safety comes from knowing that you can handle whatever life throws at you. True safety comes from trusting yourself in unfamiliar situations. True safety is internal, and no amount of external comfort can substitute for it. When you cling too tightly to what is familiar, you send a message to the universe that says you do not trust yourself to thrive in new circumstances. And the universe responds to that message by keeping you exactly where you are. Not as punishment, but as a reflection of the boundary you have set. The lesson that is paying you back right now involves a gentle but firm push beyond the edges of what feels comfortable. It might look like a new opportunity that excites you and terrifies you in equal measure. It might look like a change in your daily routine that feels disorienting at first. It might look like a conversation you have been avoiding, because you know it will change the dynamic of a relationship. Whatever form it takes, this push is not here to destroy your peace. It is here to expand it, because true peace is not the absence of change. True peace is the ability to remain grounded and centered, even in the middle of transformation. And that is a skill you already possess, Taurus. You just have not tested it in a while. Think of a tree. Its roots go deep into the earth, and that is what gives it stability. But a tree that never grows new branches, that never reaches toward the sun, that never allows its shape to change with the seasons, that tree is not thriving. It is merely surviving. You were not built to merely survive. You were built to grow, to expand, to become more magnificent with every passing year. And growth requires movement. It requires stretching beyond what is known into what is possible. I am not asking you to abandon everything that makes you feel safe. I am asking you to trust yourself enough to add something new to your life. One new habit, one new direction, one new conversation that has been waiting for your courage. Start small if you need to, but start, because the comfort zone you have been resting in has taught you everything it can. The next lesson lives just beyond its borders, and you are ready for it even if you do not feel ready. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. And here is the beautiful paradox of Taurus energy. Once you step outside the comfort zone, you do not lose your sense of security. You take it with you, because your security was never in the routine itself. It was never in the familiar walls or the predictable schedule. Your security lives inside you, in your steadiness, in your resilience, in your unshakable ability to find your footing no matter where you stand. The comfort zone made you forget that. It made you think that safety was external, that it lived in the known and predictable. But this season is reminding you that you carry your safety wherever you go. And once you remember that, the whole world opens up. Every door becomes an invitation instead of a threat. And the life you have been dreaming about, the one that felt just out of reach, it suddenly feels not only possible but inevitable. Tip 7. The forgiveness you have been withholding is costing you more than you realize. Taurus does not forgive easily. This is not because you are cold or unfeeling. It is actually the opposite. You feel so deeply that when someone hurts you, the wound goes all the way to the bone. You remember every detail. The words that were said, the tone that was used, the moment you realized that someone you trusted had let you down. And because you remember everything, letting go feels almost impossible. How do you forgive something you cannot forget? This is the question that has been living inside you, and this season is finally giving you the answer. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It never was. Forgiveness is about deciding that the pain someone caused you no longer gets to control your present moment. It is about reclaiming the energy that has been locked up in resentment and redirecting it towards something that actually serves your life. Think about how much mental space that old hurt is taking up. Think about the moments when you could be fully present with someone you love, but instead, your mind drifts back to that betrayal, that disappointment, that broken promise. Think about the energy it takes to maintain a grudge, to keep the wall up, to stay guarded against a threat that may no longer even exist. That energy is not free, Taurus. It is being drawn from the same reservoir that fuels your creativity, your joy, your capacity to love, and your ability to build the future you deserve. Every day you hold on to unforgiveness, you are making a withdrawal from your own well-being, and the balance is getting low. I am not asking you to pretend that what happened was acceptable. I am not asking you to welcome someone back into your life who has proven they do not deserve to be there. Forgiveness does not require reconciliation. You can forgive someone and still choose to keep them at a distance. You can release the anger and still maintain healthy boundaries. These are not contradictions. They are the hallmarks of emotional maturity. What I am asking you to do is this. Choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose to stop drinking the poison of resentment and expecting the other person to feel the effects. They are living their life. They may not even know that you are still carrying this weight. And even if they do know, your healing cannot depend on their remorse. Your healing belongs to you, and only you can initiate it. This is the forgiveness lesson that is paying you back. Because the moment you release that old pain, you will feel a surge of energy that has been dormant for months, maybe years. Doors that seemed permanently closed will begin to crack open. Relationships that felt stagnant will begin to breathe again. And your heart, that beautiful, loyal, deeply feeling Taurus heart, will finally have room to experience the fullness of love without the shadow of old wounds dimming its light. I also want you to understand that forgiveness is not a single event. It is a practice. Some wounds are so deep that you will need to forgive the same person for the same thing multiple times before the sting finally fades. That does not mean it is not working. It means the healing is happening in layers the way all real healing does. Each time you choose forgiveness, you peel back another layer of pain and reveal more of the love that has always been underneath it. Be patient with this process. Be gentle with yourself when the old anger rises up again. And know that every act of forgiveness, no matter how small, is an act of profound self-love. You are choosing your future over your past. You are choosing freedom over chains. And that choice, made again and again, will transform your life in ways that no amount of holding on ever could. Forgive. Not for them. For you. Tip 8. The dream you almost gave up on is closer than it has ever been. There is something you have wanted for a very long time. A dream, a goal, a vision for your life that you have carried in your heart through every difficult season. Maybe you have talked about it with the people closest to you. Maybe you have kept it entirely to yourself, afraid that saying it out loud would somehow jinx it or invite criticism. Either way, this dream has been a quiet companion on your journey, and recently, you have been wondering if it is time to let it go. The doubt has been creeping in, the voice in your head that says you have waited too long, that the window has closed, that people like you do not get to have what they truly want. I need you to hear me when I say this. That voice is lying. Your dream is not behind you. It is ahead of you. And it is closer right now than it has ever been in your entire life. But here is why you cannot see it. You have been looking for it in the form you originally imagined, and it has changed shape. Dreams do that. They evolve as you evolve. The essence of what you want remains the same, but the way it manifests often looks different from what you pictured years ago. And that is not a downgrade. It is an upgrade. Because the version of you who first dreamed that dream was younger, less experienced, and did not yet know what you know now. The dream has matured along with you, and its current form is actually better suited to the life you are building today. Stop looking backward at the original blueprint. Start looking at what is right in front of you with fresh eyes. That opportunity that seemed too small. Look again. That idea that crossed your mind last week. Pay attention to it. That conversation with someone who mentioned something that made your heart skip a beat. Follow that thread. Your dream is sending you signals, but they are subtle because Taurus energy works in whispers, not shouts. The universe is not going to put a spotlight on your destiny and announce it with trumpets. It is going to place small, steady breadcrumbs along your path and trust that your natural determination will lead you to follow them. This is what makes Taurus dreams so powerful. They do not arrive in dramatic bursts of luck. They arrive through consistent effort meeting divine timing. And right now, the timing is aligning in your favor. I know it is scary to hope again. I know you have protected yourself from disappointment by lowering your expectations. But this is the season to raise them. Not recklessly, not with blind optimism, but with the grounded confidence of someone who has done the work and knows in their bones that they deserve what is coming. Your dream did not survive all these years by accident. Survive because it is meant for you. And you are finally standing at the threshold where persistence meets possibility. There is a reason you never let this dream die completely. Even when logic told you to move on, even when the circumstances seemed to say no, something in you refused to release it. That something is your intuition, and it has been right all along. Your intuition knows things that your rational mind cannot grasp yet. It sees around corners. It feels the movement of energy before it becomes visible in the physical world. And your intuition has been whispering to you for months now. Hold on, it is almost here. Trust that whisper. It has never steered you wrong. Even when the path it pointed to seemed impossibly long. The path was never the problem. Your willingness to walk it was the gift. And you have walked it beautifully, Taurus. Now the destination is finally coming into view. Do not turn back now. Not when you are this close. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Tip 9. The solitude you have been craving is not loneliness. It is preparation. Lately, you have felt a pull toward being alone. Not in a sad way, not in a way that feels like isolation, but in a way that feels necessary. You have been wanting to cancel plans. You have been wanting to spend evenings with just your thoughts, a quiet room, and the kind of stillness that the rest of the world seems afraid of. And maybe you have been judging yourself for this. Maybe you have worried that wanting to be alone means something is wrong with you, that you are withdrawing, that you are becoming antisocial or disconnected. But nothing is wrong with you, Taurus. What you are experiencing is not loneliness. It is preparation. Your spirit is getting ready for something significant, and it needs space to do that work. Think of it like a caterpillar entering its cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like withdrawal. It looks like stagnation. But inside that cocoon, a complete transformation is taking place. Every cell is being rearranged. Every structure is being rebuilt. And when the butterfly finally emerges, it is unrecognizable from what it was before. That is what is happening inside you right now. The solitude you are craving is the cocoon, and the transformation that is taking place within you requires quiet, requires stillness, requires the absence of other people's energy, so that your own energy can reorganize itself without interference. This is not a season to fill every moment with noise and activity. This is a season to sit with yourself and get reacquainted with who you really are beneath all the roles you play. Beneath the caretaker, beneath the provider, beneath the strong one, beneath the reliable one. Who are you when nobody is watching? What do you want when nobody else's needs are on the table? What makes your heart sing when you are not performing for an audience? These are the questions that solitude answers. And the answers that are coming will reshape the next chapter of your life in profound ways. Do not rush through this quiet phase. Do not fill the silence with distractions because the stillness makes you uncomfortable. Lean into it. Trust it. Let it do its work. Because when you emerge from this period of inner reflection, you will carry a clarity and a sense of purpose that no amount of socializing could have given you. The people in your life will notice the difference. They will see something in your eyes that was not there before. A calm certainty, a quiet power, a groundedness that makes them feel safe in your presence. And you will know, in the deepest part of yourself, that the solitude was not a detour from your path. It was the path. It was always the path. The noise of the world had simply been too loud for you to hear the directions your soul was trying to give you. Now that you have quieted everything down, you can finally hear them clearly. And here is what I want you to remember during this quiet season. The people who truly love you will understand your need for space. They will not take it personally. They will not interpret your withdrawal as rejection. The people who belong in your life will wait for you, just as you have waited for so many others throughout the years. And if someone cannot respect your need for solitude, if they pressure you to show up when your spirit is asking you to rest, that tells you something important about the nature of that connection. Let the quiet be your teacher. Let it reveal not only who you are becoming, but also who deserves to witness that becoming. Because the version of you that emerges from this cocoon will need people around it who can appreciate its wings. And what they are saying will change everything. Tip 10. The version of you that is emerging does not need permission to exist. This is the final and perhaps the most important lesson that is paying you back right now. For your entire life, Taurus, you have been seeking permission. Not overtly, not loudly, but quietly, in ways you might not even recognize. You have been waiting for someone to tell you that your dreams are valid. You have been waiting for circumstances to be perfect before you make your move. You have been waiting for the people around you to approve of your choices, to validate your feelings, to confirm that the direction you want to go is the right one. And because you are patient by nature, you have been willing to wait a very long time for that permission to arrive. But here is the truth that this season is burning into your consciousness. The permission is never coming from outside of you. It was never supposed to. The only permission you need is the one you give yourself. and you have been withholding it for far too long. Think about all the things you have postponed because the timing did not feel right. Think about all the words you have left unspoken because you were not sure they would be received well. Think about all the versions of yourself you have kept hidden because you were afraid they would be too much for the people around you. Too ambitious, too emotional, too honest, too different from what everyone expected. Every one of those hidden versions is a part of you that has been waiting in the wings, ready to step into the light the moment you say the word. And the word is simply, yes. Yes, I am allowed to want what I want. Yes, I am allowed to change my mind, to change my direction, to change who I am if the person I have been is no longer who I want to be. Yes, I am allowed to take up space, to speak my truth, to pursue my joy even if it makes other people uncomfortable. This is not about being selfish. This is about being whole. A whole person does not shrink themselves to fit into other people's expectations. A whole person does not apologize for having desires and ambitions that go beyond what is considered normal or acceptable. A whole person stands in their full height and says, "This is who I am, and I am done waiting for the world to be ready for me." The version of you that is emerging right now is powerful beyond measure. It is the culmination of every lesson you have learned, every hardship you have endured, every tear you have shed, and every moment of quiet strength you have demonstrated when nobody was looking. This version of you does not need validation from anyone else. It does not need a guarantee that everything will work out. It does not need the road ahead to be perfectly clear before it takes the first step. All it needs is your permission, your willingness to stop holding yourself back, your courage to say, "I am ready," even when your knees are shaking, even when your voice trembles, even when every logical part of your brain is listing all the reasons why you should stay small and stay safe. The lesson that is paying you back is this: you were never meant to stay small. You were meant to grow into something extraordinary. And extraordinary does not wait for permission, simply begins. Taurus, if you have stayed with me through every word of this message, you already know in your heart that something is different now. Something has shifted. The energy around you is not the same as it was when you pressed play on this video, and that is not a coincidence. Every lesson we have walked through together has been building toward this single moment of recognition. The moment where you look at your life with honest eyes and realize that the struggle was never the story. The struggle was the prologue. The real story is what comes next. You have spent so much time proving yourself to the world, proving that you are reliable, proving that you are strong, proving that you can handle anything life throws at you without breaking. And you have proven all of those things over and over again in 1,000 quiet ways that most people will never fully appreciate. But the season you are entering now is not about proving anything. It is about receiving. It is about allowing the universe to return to you what you have so generously given to others. It is about sitting in the fullness of your worth and knowing, without a shadow of doubt, that you have earned every good thing that is coming your way. Do not let fear tell you that it is too late. Do not let doubt convince you that you have missed your window. Do not let the voices of people who never understood your pace make you believe that slow means stuck. Slow means steady. Slow means sure. Slow means built to last. And what you have built, Taurus, is built to last a lifetime. The patience you have practiced is about to bear fruit. The love you have given is about to be returned. The dreams you have protected in the quiet chambers of your heart are about to see the light of day. And you beautiful, stubborn, magnificent soul, you are about to discover that everything you went through was shaping you into exactly the person you needed to be for this next chapter. Trust the process. Trust yourself. And most importantly, trust that the universe has been paying attention to every single moment of your journey. Nothing was overlooked. Nothing was ignored. And nothing, absolutely nothing, was wasted. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.